Hi guys, it's me, Fooms, and you are welcome to another episode of Hope Builds a Spark. Yay! Guys, I feel like this can be our interim intro until I get a better one. I mean, at the moment I'm trying to hype myself up, and I'm also expressing how excited I am to see my Shaylas, my sparkles, and my sparkies. So it's a win-win situation, hype myself up and show my realest redacted how excited I am to see you guys. You guys, please let me know how you're doing in the comment section down below. I want to hear from you. I want to know how you're doing. Some of you might be able to tell because my mom always says that you can't tell when I'm tired or exhausted, but you can tell by looking at my eyes. But yeah, I think I'm very, very sleepy at the moment and I'm very tired. But a girl keeps her promises, I assure you, because I already said Saturdays are filming days and I'm not going to go back on my word. I'm not going to turn my back on my Shaylas, on my sparkles, on my sparkies, So I'm going to keep all my promises to myself. And I said Saturday is filming day, and Lagbara Jejesu, by the power of the blood of Jesus, look, Saturday we're gonna film and nothing is going to stop it. Saturdays are filming days. So I put on my garments of energy and I'm like, you know what, Films, you gotta show up for the people. You have to show up for the people, and that's why I'm here. So my mood is sleepy, tired. I need sleep. I've been grinding non-stop for days, you guys. I've been pulling all nighters, right? But I'm here, and I'm very happy to be here because I missed you. I missed you guys so much. You guys already know the vibes. Like every week, I can't wait to see people, to hear from you, to hear your comments and what's not. So, hey, it's another beautiful episode. Yay, guys. Now, if nobody is going to tell me the truth, I will tell myself the truth. This is week 3 of my girl, Shaniqua, making an appearance. And the truth is that I still have not made my hair, you guys. But my birthday is around the corner and obviously, I'm going to have to do something to my hair. So, prayers up for me. Prayers up for Shaniqua, my girl. Hopefully I retire her after this episode, because by the next episode I might have done my hair, or I might have had the energy to bring out a YouTube style wig, one that glorifies God. But you guys, I'm in an era now where like I don't really care what I look like, although like it's very important for me to take good care of myself. It's very important for me to look good and really pay attention to my appearance. But I'm trying to decenter beauty standards, to be very honest. So I show up here, and it's not something I would have done in the past. I show up here without any dot of makeup, without any hair or any clothes or any of those things that I would usually run to feel confident. Like I'm here as my most authentic self, and I'm so grateful for such a time as this. I know it will not be forever, but it was very, very important for building my confidence as a person. So maybe somebody needs this, right? Maybe the secret to becoming more confident is confronting the things that will make you scared. I mean, even if people have opinions about your looks, as far as you feel like you are that girl, as far as you feel like you are always beautiful, it doesn't really matter. In the past, I have been friends with people who will say very silly things like, oh, I like your confidence, I like the way you hype yourself up. And it's not that they will say it, but it's the way they will say it, as if I did not have a right to hype myself up, as if there was it wasn't, I don't know how to explain it, man, but it was so weird. You know how society will see a full figured woman and they will make very silly comments like, oh my God, I love your bravery. You are not trying to encourage her, and you are not speaking from a place of admiration. You are telling her that she's a special type of confidence for subscribing to a level of confidence that she should not ordinarily have access to and whatnot. But yeah, I'm in that era where I'm decentering all these things. I don't care. As far as I feel fantastic, as far as I feel beautiful, hey, I'm up like mad. You guys, I kid you not. After I finish filming every episode, I go back to watch my videos and woman for fun around me. I was like, "Ah." I'm always like, damn girl, you are fine as hell. I love you, girl. Who is that girl? Guys, I think I'm misbehaving because I'm sleepy. I'm so sleepy, you guys. But we're going to pull through. I'm very confident we're going to pull through. So you guys, without any further ado, let's get started. Yay! This prayer came to mind while I was preparing today's exercise, and you guys, it came in clutch because the truth is that not everything we think is a problem is actually a problem. And even when your problems are not catfishing you, some seasons of your life just bring problems that are unavoidable. There's nothing anybody can do about it. In these seasons, you are going to learn how to live with your problems until time and season do their big one and the problems go away just by you having the right resources at the right time, having the right mindset at the right time when you reasonably can, or you being in a completely different headspace, being in completely different circumstances that do not give your problems room to thrive or even exist, right? Another thing about the nature of problems is that sometimes your problems are self-inflicted. Yes, I said it, somebody had to say it. Yoruba people will call it afowofa. Sometimes your problems are afowofa. And so when they exist in this state, they take on the form of a virus with you as the willing host. So as long as you exist in a certain state with a certain mindset, you know, in a certain environment, as a willing participant of dysfunction, of situations that don't serve you, your problems will continue to have the perfect environment to thrive and have cute little babies and whatnot, right? And what this means for you is that the day you decide that, enough is enough, I'm not going to be a petri dish for my problems anymore, that's the day your life will change. That is why that is when the viruses of problem will die. So basically, the serenity prayer somehow reminded me that
In life,
in life, different problems often require different solutions that exist in different times and seasons under different circumstances. So when we are not consciously aware of this truth, we will often conflate all our problems until they become this oversized, scary thing that we have to run away from and avoid. And truly, even though your problems might not necessarily be as big and scary as you think they are, that's what the problems will now morph into, because you are not tackling your problems as effectively as you should. You can't even identify them. So you don't even know. All you know is that you are just experiencing problem, another problem, right?
Problem, another problem.
Problems will now become this big scary thing that you can't even reckon with. And this is one of the reasons why many people feel stuck. I mean, this is why even I have felt stuck at such a time, you know. One of the things I realized is that different problems often require different solutions, as obvious as this sounds, right? But that's the first thing you must take note of. Different problems often require different solutions. It's not a one size fits all situation. So it follows that the first thing to do is to identify and analyze everything that I will consider as a problem at this time, especially if this problem limits me in one way or the other. I must demystify my problems and break them down so that I know what treatment each one deserves. I will not be giving problem of stomach ache, headache medicine. Do you understand what I'm saying? Right? Now, it could be argued that I could have addressed this topic before setting out to discover who I am, as per my last episode. But the truth is that I wanted to identify my problems as a topic on their own, from a place of knowledge and self-awareness and empowerment as well first, right? This is very important to me because in many ways, as I go through this week's episode, that be this week's project, I will discover and identify all the ways that I have been my own problem, in addition to what I did last week, right? I will discover all the ways that my actions and inactions have been the problem. And when I do so, I must be able to draw a clear distinction between my toxic traits, my mistakes, the things that are not my fault, and my identity. So if I don't have that confidence of a basic awareness that this is who I am, I'm going to muddy the waters. I'm going to, just mess up everything. That's not going to be nice, okay? Now, I must understand that as far as taking accountability goes, my problems are the fruit of my choices, my wrong actions and inactions. And these things are not necessarily who I am. Turn to your neighbor and say, neighbor, some of your problems are just things that you do or do not do, and they are not who you are. Tell your neighbor, tell them in the comment section. Now. Now, I understand that some problems are simply a direct result of circumstances beyond my control, and there was absolutely nothing that I could have done, right? So, guys, like I said last week, I'm going to be identifying my problems as an individual who is part of society, who has been shaped by society, is being shaped by society still, and who is an active contributor to the shaping of society as well, right? So what this means is that in simple English, I'm going to be looking internally and externally. So I must be as accurate as possible with my analysis for my own sake, right? I must be careful to not internalize what is external, and I must be careful to not avoid accountability for what is internal, because I'm too busy blaming the world and blaming all the factors that are outside me, right? How is this different from last week's exercise, you might ask? You know what I always say, even if you don't ask me, I have all the answers and you will take it. Well, in the last episode, I was just identifying things and drawing patterns to highlight who I really am in all my entirety, right? This episode is actually for problem solving. I will be using my understanding of who I am to identify and tackle my problems head on. So you see that everything is linked, everything goes. There's a direct, don't worry, I got you. This project is going to be very coherent, even though it has been broken down into many parts, I assure you. Star Girl Day for you. I got you. Just bring out that your stupid journal. We're good. Another important thing for me is that I must examine my problems at their roots instead of simply holding on to symptoms. So I must work honestly and with all the humility and vulnerability that I can muster. For example, if I have the tendency to get angry easily, I must not simply just state that as my problem. Oh, my problem in life is that I used to get angry very easily. I can't just state it and leave it like that. I must examine all the whys until I get to the root of the problem. Okay, I get angry easily, that's a symptom. Why exactly do I get angry easily? What is it that triggers me so much that it brings out that kind of reaction from me very easily? I must get to the root of all that. This is like Scooby-Doo and the gang, you guys. We are getting to the bottom of the bottom. You know, in Scooby-Doo, when they remove the first mask, that's not usually the person that they are looking for. They always have to remove like 1,000 masks before they don't find the actual villain, and they're like, oh yeah, this is the person who has been doing ba and awo. Right, so that's how this whole process is going to be as well. It's not just identifying problems and saying, hey, this is my problem, that's my problem. Why is it my problem? Why is it hindering me in this way? Why is it affecting me in this way? Why is it causing me to behave in a certain way? Why is it causing me to... We are going to be asking why. Guys, we're in for a ride. We are in for a treat. But on a serious note, you guys, identifying your problems down to their very roots is the only way that I can begin the journey of solving my problems and building a brand new spark from scratch. So this is exactly how I'm going to do it. Now, there are a couple of ground rules that I must establish before I begin to identify my problems. You guys already know me by now. I'm a foundation girly. I like to make sure that I build on a very strong foundation, right? So if you are following me on this journey, my customers, if you are on this journey with me, you are building a brand new spark from scratch and you're doing as I do, this is a great time to bring out that stupid journal and jot things down. So ground rules, here are the ground rules. 1, identifying my problems requires me to be still. I must patiently and calmly unravel my problems, how they manifest, and most importantly, why they manifest and why they are problems, right? So it involves a lot of calmness, a lot of stillness. It's not something I can do from a turbulent place. It's not something I can do from a place of unrest. Right? That's the first ground rule. The second one is that I must set out to do this with the understanding that holding myself accountable is not self-condemnation. I am not attacking myself or maligning my character because my problems are not an extension of me. I don't owe my problems anything, right? I don't owe them loyalty. I'm not casting myself by casting my problems, right? What did Ira say? If I cast, then I cast. Yeah, I don't owe my problems any form of loyalty. And the fact that I'm setting out to identify all my problems, no matter how close they hit to home, I must not feel so bad about the entire process. I must not be so connected to my problems that I start to feel that an attack on my problems is an attack on me. It makes no sense. I now start to treat myself so unkindly. I'll give you an example. Let's say you're on a weight loss journey, and this is something I see a lot. You're on a weight loss journey, right? And you start to make significant progress, and you start to find out, look, it's my gluttony that caused my weight gain. I was not disciplined, and all of that stuff. You identify the problem, and then you now start to talk so bad about yourself because you had those problems. Oh, when I was a fat fool, I was just eating like that's not necessary. That's not necessary. You don't have to be unkind to yourself because you are identifying things about yourself that you do not like, things about yourself that you intend to tackle. You must hold space for yourself. You must extend grace to yourself. Ground rule number 3. In the process of identifying my problems, I must speak kindly to and of myself, even as I identify my problems. I must hold space for myself, but this does not mean in any way that I should now make excuses for my problems, right? I can understand my problems without holding malice or hatred in my heart for the people who have caused them, even if the people list me, right? Except they are the Nigerian government, then I must hate them. If the Nigerian government is the cause of my problem, I must hate them, right? I must not be graceful about it. I must not be graceful to them. And I think I speak for everybody when I say this. Ground rule number 4. I must understand that the fact that my problems feel familiar doesn't mean that they are supposed to be a part of my life, right? A huge part of being in survival mode is that you get so familiar with your problems to the point where you not only internalize and normalize them as a part of your life and your identity, you now unwittingly teach other people to normalize your problems, right? I was so used to being so strong, that's my nature. I don't have to try to be strong because I'm a strong person, right? But I became so strong that I noticed that the people around me did not have any regard for my weaknesses or my problems. Like, I would show people so much care when the smallest thing was, happening to them, when they were going through the smallest circumstances. People would call me late at night, right? People would feel very comfortable talking to me about things that I would ordinarily consider as tiny problems, considering where I'm coming from. But the people around me seemed to have this idea that because I was such a strong person, because I am such a strong person, that meant that they could also trivialize my problems. So I noticed that they were not treating me with the same tenderness that I would treat them, because you're a strong person now, you don't need anything, you have God, you have everybody. So people will not even ask how I was doing, and even when people will do Ojo Aye and ask, it's just a one-time thing. Meanwhile, if somebody is going through something, I will ask you for days until I'm sure that that thing has, ended, right? But people around me will just be like, Shebi, you are strong now, why do we need to pay any special attention to? Maybe you will pull through, you always pull through now. And it was very devastating, especially in this season of my life where I really needed to be babied. I needed to be held. I needed to be seen, to be understood by the people around me. But it's not their fault because it is my own. There's a way you see your problems that other people will start to normalize it. So when you are going through so much dysfunction, they see it as that's another day in the life of you are just going through another day in your life. So what's new? You are used to suffering. Suffering is your portion. Suffering is not my portion in the name of Jesus, right? And it's time that I really stand up against this thing. I'm not going to be strong at my own expense, right? I'm a human being, and the things I go through are not normal. The things I go through are not a part of my life. They are anomalies. They are things to be solved with tenderness. Because the truth is that when you unwittingly teach people to normalize your problems, the effect of this is that you don't get the empathy, the space, or the understanding that you need to overcome your problems. You don't get that empathy and space and all that good stuff from yourself, and you will not get it from other people. It's like double jeopardy. Do you understand what I'm saying? Right? So if I'm to break free from this cycle, I must remind myself that my problems are not a part of me. They're not a part of my life, right? They're not things I should normalize. I should not have to be so strong all the time. I should not have to have a hardened disposition towards dysfunction that normalizes it. And nobody in my life is allowed to have that disposition as well. But it starts from me. And ground rule number 5, I must set out to identify and solve my problems with the understanding that all problems have solutions, whether or not these solutions are readily available to me at this moment. By identifying my problems clearly, I'm preparing myself to quickly identify their solutions and apply them when these solutions come. So the long and short of the matter is that no matter how great my problems seem, they have an end, they have an expiry date. And this is a fact that should fill me with hope and determination to get out of this situation as possible. Now, once all of these ground rules are established, I must then ask myself tough questions like, now, my first approach towards answering these questions is to simply state the answer without justifying or explaining it. After I state the answer, then I will now go back to the answers and ask myself why on each answer a minimum of 5 times until all my reasons are completely exhausted, right? So I will ask why. If I give one answer, I will ask why until I get to a point where why is no longer applicable to the question because it has been sufficiently answered, right? The next thing I'm going to do after I do this is to consult the people who are closest to me to ask them objectively, what do you think my problem is, right? Their response must not be based on personal preference or their own biased opinion. I want them to be as objective as possible. So they are going to spit facts and not fallacies. I don't want to know your opinion. I just want to know your subjective opinion. That is, I just want to know what the objective truth is. Objectively speaking, what do you think my problems are? The goal with them is to simply listen and not explain or justify myself. The goal is to identify all the things I may have missed in my own analysis. Now, after all of this is done, we are moving to the next phase. And in this phase, I have to understand that simply becoming aware of my problems is not placing an immediate burden on me to solve them, nor is it giving me the ability to immediately solve my problems. The fact that I know my problems doesn't mean I have the power or I have the resources to solve them. It just means I can now identify them, and I can also identify a solution when the solution comes. The truth is that many times we set out to immediately try to solve our problems when we identify them because we are so ashamed and we are so embarrassed that we are having these problems, especially when they are problems that we were not aware of until they were identified. We get so embarrassed. I must not be so embarrassed or overwhelmed or ashamed of my problems that I immediately burden myself with the task of solving them at once, like in that moment, especially if I don't have the sufficient wisdom and knowledge and understanding needed to solve the problems, right? If I'm to solve my problems, I must first draw the distinction between the things I can change and the things I need to accept, just like the prayer says, right? I must also draw the distinction between the problems I can solve by myself and the ones that others have to help me solve, because it takes a village, you guys, and I'm just a girl. Some problems are within my power to solve. I will solve those problems. But for some other problems, I need help. I need people to teach me things, to give me certain resources, to give me certain skills, knowledge, etc. So it's important to draw that distinction, right? I must also be patient with myself as God is patient with me. And this is the most important one, right? The problems I will uncover in these exercises, in this exercise in particular, most certainly did not spring up in a day out of nowhere. I'm talking about decades, years, and months worth of problems. I can't solve these things in a matter of days or minutes. That would be delusional, right? So I must submit myself to process, to time and space, and I must be very patient, right? I must also understand that this journey will not be linear. I must accept that fact. To this end, I must not be rigid about setting out to solve my problems. Some problems require nimbleness to be solved anyway. So I must not have this tunnel vision about how I will solve my problems. I must be flexible. I must be humble. I must be teachable, right? As usual, if you can relate with all these things that I'm saying, please, you don't need my permission. Bring out your stupid journal. It's always a good time to bring out your stupid journal. Just do as I do, you guys, and we will be on the same page. We are building our brand new spark from scratch. I did with you. I did for you. Don't break. Okay? If you made it to the end, yes, I'm talking about the end, because look, as we go on, as we progress on this journey, these vlogs will become shorter and shorter and shorter by the grace of God, because our problems will be shrinking by the grace of God. So the wahala will not be so much, that we require a lot of time to talk about these things. So yes, we are at the end of the vlog. And if you made it to the end of the vlog, you are the realest, you are the baddest, and I love you. Here, as usual, as always, I have flower for you. Mwah. Today's flower came with kiss, because we are doing difficult stuff. We are doing very difficult things. So yeah, today's flower came with kiss. Now, if you love me too, you already know the vibes. Please pray for me. Continue to pray that God strengthens me through this entire process. Please like, share, subscribe, comment. Support me, you guys. I really, really need your support. As always, I'll be sending stuff at the end of every vlog. Patronize me, buy my markets. You guys, please, I beg you. This is the time for everybody to apply nepotism. This is the time for you to be nepotistical about me, So buy what I'm selling, patronize my services, please. I'm trying to raise this amount to build a brand new spark from scratch. Buy my market, recommend me, use my services. And if the Lord does it on your heart, you want to dash me money, my birthday is coming. See, this is what I want for my birthday. $10,000. If you have any uncle that can just give me all those afunima wope uncles that can just oh my god, this girl, she just needs money. I'm into charity. My name is Charity. Okay, you can just stole me with the money itself, I'll collect. You can dash me the money. My birthday is coming. What I want for my birthday? $10,000. But anything you can give, I'll collect. I'm not allergic to gifts and whatnot, but what I would really like is for you to patronize my business and recommend my services, use my services, please. As usual, all the details will be at the end of the vlog. Until next time, you guys, bye-bye. That enhance your natural complexion, You guys, this oil blend is thebomb.com. It's one of my best sellers. Every time I give this out as a party favor, people are always asking, when can we buy it? When can we? Okay, now is the time. Now is the time to know who got the money. It's the time to buy this oil blend, you guys. Get into it. So we have 200 ml of oil of gladness going for 7,500, and we have the 100 ml going for 4,000. Get into it, you guys. You can buy this oil blend through the link in my description.